result in oppressiveness. There's the bail, that recent legislation that extended the period for which you can be held before you're brought to court from 10 days to 28 days. And there were our representatives of Tobago in the parliament, and knowing we don't even have a place to hold prisoners, didn't say a word. So we have our prisoners piled up there, and whereas in 10 days they could have expected that they had to be brought to court to determine bail or to look at their bail position again, it can now be 28 days. And nobody said a word. Nobody said, but wait, we're going to no prison where you're keeping these people. And these things perturb me because I don't understand your being in parliament and can't, and normal people wouldn't understand and can't usher in a different result when these proposals are being brought. We feel that you have an idea what your constituents want, what affect them, and you should be able to speak up and say, well, this ain't good for us. But as one of my friends like to say to me, when these issues are raised, it is going back to the issue of constitutional reform, because the current structure for an MP to operate in doesn't give him much leeway except to nurture his constituents on the CPEP, the 10 days, the staying quiet. He can't talk out much in cabinet, he can't talk out much in parliament. If you say something contrary, you got to walk. That was my experience, if many people remember that. So the constitutional structure on which we operate doesn't allow an MP too much to go off the track into opposing. Could you oppose a legislation that your government is sponsoring in parliament? That is likely to be suicide. So the question is whether before an MP can really meet the expectations, the true expectations as I have outlined here of his constituents, the system has to change. Well, I do agree, yes, that the system is in need of changing, but I just want to lay out a little for you. While I represented Bethel Patience Hill, now I have to say that perhaps it was wrong because they voted me out, but I'd still say some of the things that I considered, which I think leads me to make the point that a representative is expected to navigate around the existing system, to buck the system where legally, where you can, and to be always thinking of ways as to how you can maneuver around whatever may be the stumbling blocks. So many of you would remember that I was returned to the Tobago House of Assembly as an independent representative some years ago. And I keep remembering my detractors and opponents when they were going through the community campaigning against me. What can an independent do for you? And that was the mantra up and down the villages. What can an independent do for you? And that sort of propelled me to thinking, really, what can I do? Well, the first thing that I did, which I don't think has been tried since, is look at something that another representative, Desmond Allam, now deceased, had done. He created a non-profit organization, Cotton Tree Foundation. I did the same, Empowerment Foundation of Tobago. To date, I think they are the two politically inspired foundations in the country. And having done that, I had a vehicle by which I could have solicited donations, because I don't want, as Deborah Moore Megan, to be going begging people for money. But if I had the Empowerment Foundation, then I can do that. And I was able to draw on the talents of people who may have voted for me or supported me. And today, effort remains there, and I'm going to tell you some of the things that we were able to do. We were able to raise funding to purchase a parcel of land, 1 acre, in Tobago, And it came about, I should go back a little, because after having won, I went to each of my constituent villages and sought from them guidance as to, you'd say all kind of thing on the platform, I will do this, I will do that. But then I went to them specifically and said, look, what does this village really need? I can't give you everything because you know my situation, I'm independent, no money. But if you want to prioritize whatever you may want, 1, 2, 3, what do you think? And I got very good guidance from the constituents on that. Our constituents are very intelligent, ready to respond, ready to guide, if only we seek them out and listen. So Bethel wanted certain things, Patience Hill wanted certain things, and Canby wanted other things. Patience Hill, well, among the things they wanted was that their steel band had been practicing on a parcel of land for over 30 years. And they wanted that land for themselves, and it happened to be coming on the market soon. Bethel wanted to be exposed to computers and blah, blah. Can't remember now what they wanted. But what I did is that I solicited funds, and people willingly gave monies to purchase that parcel of land. So today we own a parcel of land, which we conveyed a portion to the steel band, so they now have security of tenure. They have a lease, and whenever they're ready to buy it, we will sell it to them. We kept another portion, and we have constructed on it, again from begging people, one of the biggest buildings in a village community called the Empowerment Foundation Center. And in there, we've gotten a rent of about $15,000 from MIC, and every month we earn that. Even though I'm out of power, that building is there watching every day, and people say, Deborah building, but it's not really it's not my building. It's the people of the area's building that they were able to guide me and others who were in the group to achieve. We do lots of classes there, and we're getting ready now to do a very big word festival in Tobago come November. So we feel particularly proud of that. Then I was able to there was an old building in Bethel, unused, the drug men in it, and I went to the owners, they gave us permission, we renovated it, and we established the computer. We bought about 50 computers at the height of my service to Bethel, where people used to come and learn computer literacy, learn how to handle the computers. I meet young people, old people every day now who tell me it was through that simple effort that they were able to learn how to handle the computer. We did courses in video production, food processing. When you hear Nadine Hackett on some one of those, I think it's, yeah, I can't remember which one. Good. She trained through that little thing we started there in Bethel. There's another guy, he was taken from us. He went to first Channel 5, now he's with, I think, TV6. And they keep just singing the praises of that little effort. Another one in food processing, she's recognized in Trinidad and Tobago as a food processor. Then what I did, I organized community, cultural groups. You got, as a representative, you have to do all kind of things. And we had the Better Bethel Community Club. And that club, we organized sports meetings and seminars on various things. You wouldn't believe they used to make money. And in the Bethel Credit Union, there's an account standing there with money that they would always call, Miss Meggins, what you all doing with this money? The group has since broke now because, of course, well, I'm no longer there. But the money is still there in the bank waiting to be used. Similarly, I don't know many of you know I like the speech band and Bethel. You see, you got to know your that's what I'm saying. Know the physical attributes of your constituency. We had a speech band group called Pepper Ants for years, recognized, winning all the competitions. I like it, and we had a group of women who I was able to persuade, let's form back the band. It's called Pepper Ants. And you wouldn't like to see the representative moving around the community with them. When Carnival, we take part in all the competitions, win it. We have a bank account there too, because the group has since fallen apart, but the money is still there. Sports meetings. I bought my own goat to run goat race. I run it, had to let it go because them goat does run fast. I had to let go the rope, the goat reach, and I scrambling coming up in the rear. But, you know, these are the sort of things that I mean, if I were allowed to continue, I'm sure my community would have been really an ace community. There are certain attributes, of course, you yourself must have. Apart from being honest and driven to service and liking community development, etc., a very important thing is your family. Your family must really be disposed and understanding of service as an MP, because I see people would come to my home all hours of the day and night, would go to my office where I'm doing a totally different business, and your staff and those who support you every day must understand that, you know, the people's needs must be responded to. And I think if we can implement or can follow that kind of approach in dealing, you know, as an MP, and I heard what Lennox said about Mr. Warner. I was very impressed with the development plan. I didn't think of doing it that way, but of course, if I get a second bite at the cherry. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That is my contribution.
Thank you. Thank you. We got to, it's a pity you weren't here before, but those of us who were here all afternoon, we got two very worthwhile perspectives and different, but in some ways, you know, coming together. Any questions now for, yeah?
Good evening. Afternoon. Sorry. Good afternoon. I'm pleased to have been here to be in a space where I can hear this kind of discussion. I really had hoped that there would have been lots more persons, because we need to have this kind of conversation more so in our communities than anywhere else. But I have three things, question and comments. And my first one, and I think this may fall in the lap of Comrade Weatherhead, who I think you brought it up, where you talk about the role of the MP, and many of whom become ministers. And only now that I've begun to think about it, I realize that there may be some conflict of interest in the sense that as a minister, a member of cabinet, you're towing a particular line. And if perhaps, and I think our sister said it, if a policy or something is being passed that impinges upon how you operate either as an MP or your constituents, it creates a challenge for you as an individual. But is that also not a flaw of our constitution that allows for that, where you have an MP who, according to your list, should do X, Y, Z, right down to, you know, has all of those responsibilities to shoulder, but yet still has a portfolio humanly possible? Well, is it humanly possible to shoulder those two responsibilities and be effective in both? So perhaps, I know that CRF may actually have a position on that, but I'd like to hear more on that from you. I have two other points, and this comes from your contribution, sister. And I'd recently gone to Robin Sharma's thing Robin Sharma is a life coach and talks about all of these, you know, whatever. Basically, it's in many